Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Be 19 or 20. Girlfriend used to live in an apartment building. The apartment building was previously a mental institute, half converted to apartments. She tells stories of finding medical equipment with blood still on it. Crazy shit. Decide one night we're exploring. Bring along a mutual friend. The place is in the middle of nowhere in upstate New York, near Syracuse. Foggy night. Perfect. Walk around the area, all doors locked. Bust in through a window to the basement. The light was on. Weird. Explore. Find some cool shit to take home. See a lot of crazy old school medical shit. Living spaces. Sadly, a lot had been removed since she lived there. Nothing paranormal. Go out onto a low roof and enjoy the silent hill fog and quiet country night. Have to keep lights low since farmers across the street might see, trespassing and all. Lots of pictures, but time to leave. I pull my Jeep into the front street. The girls are taking pictures just outside of the building. They come bolting to my vehicle, out of breath and screaming for me to punch it. The girls have never acted like this. Had weird forest encounters with them before. I gas it. We take off into the night. They tell me they were taking pictures in the fog and heard growling nearby. As they mention it, growling grows louder, approaches them, branches breaking. They book it. Convinced from that and a few other scenarios that I am repellent of paranormal activities. Nope, out of there, just in case. Be 19 or 20 again. Go for a night walk as usual. Suburbia, but right next to beautiful woods. Decide to venture into the woods. As I am enjoying the night woods, a growl is emitted nearby. Flashlight onto the source, some nearby bushes. See nothing. Continue onward. I always carry a knife so I feel safe, even if I know I'm not, such as that night. The growl continues to follow. The light shows nothing. Finally creeped out. Head home. Growl all the way. At the house, the growl is in the 1.5-acre lawn. No discernible source by light. Freak out. Head inside. Next day, when my girlfriend is out of school, call her and inform her of last night. She tells me that morning, she and her sister were waiting for the school bus. She was in high school. They heard loud growling in bushes nearby. Perfect daylight. Examined the bushes as close as they dared. Saw nothing. Something was there, making noise. Nope. Same girlfriend, around 20 years old. Normal day. I go to work, come home, sleep. Next day, I call my girlfriend to check in. She sounds panicked. She tells me something came to her last night. Laugh it off a little. She lived in a house on a lake, and out her bedroom window she could see a streetlight. Last night she was going to sleep around midnight. As she drifts off, something blocks her view of the streetlight. The streetlight is in the top quadrant of her window. She freezes and watches a massive figure pace outside her window. She hears scratching on her windowsill. Nope's out of there to sleep with her parents. Next morning, as I talk with her, I decide to come inspect to reassure her. I go into her room, spot the streetlight and the angle, go outside to her windowsill. I'm eye level with her windowsill. To block out the streetlight would require me to be over 7 feet tall. I'm 6'2". Upon closer examination, there is a massive indent in the ground outside of her window. It had rained that night. And also, I noticed the scratch marks on her windowsill. Fucking nope. Avi. My face went. Same girlfriend, same time period. Walking in the woods behind her house. See her beat up old trailer and some old ATVs. Now wandering, enjoying the natural paths through the woods. Hear growling and breaking twigs roughly 20 feet away. Keep walking. Think nothing of them for a while. Notice the noises are following us. Weird, but not paranormal yet. The noises haven't stopped. Get creeped out. Head back to her house. Along the way, notice the noises keep a constant distance all the way. The noises form a circle, about 20 feet distance, consistently. For a half hour, the noises continue, always staying 20-ish feet away from us. We get to her house. The noises are staying 20 feet away. Stand at the back door for 10 minutes, listening to the growling, which has intensified, and breaking twigs, which are louder. Finally go inside, noping all the way.
Skeptic. I won't gloss over the story. I'll include details that leave room for rational explanations. But this kind of freaked me out. It's the end that got to me. Worth the read. I'm not trying to prove anything, so I swear this happened. Be me, 25 years old. Lost my job 4 months ago. Hard economy, boys. Had to move home with my parents. Be 2 months ago. Sent so many resumes everywhere up to this point, and not a single call. Running out of money. Depressed. The bank is harassing me. I'm scared. I love to indulge in spirituality, and did a lot of reading 1 week about higher dimensional beings, like Mothman. It's just fun. After one particular day of much reading, went to bed, had a dream. There was a thing in my dream. I can't describe it. It told me many truths about the universe, about myself. It made all the sense in the world in the dream. But when I woke up, I couldn't understand anything it told me. All I had was a sense of well-being and feeling that everything was okay. Figured all the reading triggered the dreams. Following night, woke up in the middle of the night, paralyzed, hypnagogia. Something was there. I felt it. Managed to open my eyes. Standing next to my bed, an 8-foot-tall humanoid thing, all white, hands pressed together as if in prayer. Freaked out for 2 seconds, then passed back out into sleep. More dreams just like the one before. Woke up feeling even better. Following night, woke up, same feeling. Opened my eyes. Something next to my bed again, closer this time. I just saw a waist. Shook violently and made a lot of noise. I woke up. Nothing there. I heard creaking. I looked around the room and my eyes fell on my closet door. It flew open and slammed against my bedroom door. There was no draft in my room. No dreams that night. But here's the crazy part. In the evening, I'm having a smoke with my mom. Anon, I have to tell you about a dream last night. A white angel, everything is angels to her, she's very Catholic, came to me and told me a lot of things. I don't understand anything it said when I woke up. All I knew is that you are going to be okay. My face when I didn't tell her anything about my dreams, that similarity, be now. Have a good job now. Fun. Pays excellent and will give me the means to go back to university or be a lifelong career if I choose.
Be 8 or 9. Have a friend over. We play Pokemon and Nintendo stuff all day. He stays over. The couch folds out into a bed, so he sleeps there. I sleep in a chair a few feet from him. Lights out, guys. A few minutes in, my friend says, "Hey, Anon, let's make a bet." We bet that whoever falls asleep first has to give up their starter Pokemon. I had Blastoise, he had Charizard. About 1 a.m., I hear my friend asleep. Fuck yeah, Charizard get .av. Wake up, my friend. He admits defeat. Both of us going to sleep. Start to hear scratching on the side of the house nearest us. We get up to investigate. Halfway to the window, we hear ungodly moaning and a sort of low hissing. I get a flashlight from the kitchen and try to shine it on whatever is out there. Friend is back on the couch bed under the blankets, scared. The flashlight finds its way to a black animal. The fucking thing turns away from the house and sprints through the barbed wire fence for our horse's pasture, screeching the whole time. Anyway, my father gets up and I tell him what happened. He tells us to go back to sleep. Next morning, I see the huge claw marks from the thing about 5 feet from the ground. The horse refuses to leave the barn, and there's a blood trail from where the thing went straight through the fence leading into the woods. A day or two later, my dad and his hillbilly friend follow the trail with their hunting rifles and are gone pretty much the entire day. When he got back, he didn't want to talk about it, and to this day refuses to talk about it. Avoids the question or just walks away. I didn't see what it looked like too much, because it turned its head away from the window when it ran. It was black and about the size of a deer. It could fucking move, though. It went through the fence pretty easily, too.
When I was a kid around 12 years old, I used to swim as far out as I could near the Nazaré beach in Portugal. I was raised nearby, so I learned to swim without fear from a very young age. This fearless swimming that I would usually do alone ended when I once swam so far from the coast that the beach looked incredibly small. I was swimming and noticed that the water was so much colder than near the coast. I decided to dive and open my eyes underwater. This was my big mistake. The water was murky, had this dark green color, and then suddenly turned pitch black some meters under where I was swimming. I kept my eyes open and realized that I was just a small, frail human swimming on top of this huge mass of water, with things that were certainly lurking and swimming in that cold, dark water. While I was staring, I felt something brush against my leg. It felt slimy and cold. So instead of looking at my leg, I was paralyzed with fear. I then noticed something long and silvery swim downward into the darkness. I can't describe the fear that I had when I saw that fish, whatever it was. I started to swim back as quickly as I could, but I decided to calm down because if I continued swimming like that, I would have drowned. It took me a while to go back to the shore. Since then, I never leave the coast when I swim.
House burns down. Staying at a hotel. Next door there is an empty building, but the lights are always on. There's nothing in there ever. Get curious one night. Go over with a tack axe in case crackheads were hiding and were gonna rob me. Walk in. The door closes hard behind me. So far nothing. Hear a door slam on the other side of the building. Hide behind a wall. Nothing. Move a bit to look. Footsteps start running. Hide again. Whatever it is slams into the other side of the wall I was behind, keeps slamming. Fuck this. I'm out. Spring towards the door. Locked. Kick the window next to it. Bail out of there. Hear footsteps behind me just as I leave. Sprint down the sidewalk to the busy street. When I went back to the hotel room, I locked the door, got my dogs on the bed, held onto my axe, and waited until sunrise. I went back in the morning. The wall that the whatever was slamming into was crumbled and all the light bulbs were exploded.
Be around 6 to 7 or something, can't remember fully, chillin' in the woods like I usually do, hanging off trees and shit. Black tentacle-y thing staring at me from behind a far tree near the path. It walks onto the path and down it away from me. Curious, I follow. I get pretty close to it, like a few feet away. Too scared to say anything to it, but keep following. It leads me to a miniature castle thing with one room. In the middle, a wheelbarrow full of old games from my time, like NES carts and such. It's pretty dark in there. Can't see shit and can't see that figure anymore. Spend a few seconds contemplating. Take the wheelbarrow and roll it casually down the path. The figure returns, starts following me, constantly turning my head, checking back at it. White eyes with a black oily form, and it looks like it's trying to keep its distance. Stop and wait for it to catch up. It stops about 15 feet away from me. Go back towards it. It walks away. End up just leaving the forest. It waves at me when I look back at the edge of the forest. Moral of the story: terrifying things give you free games if you follow them into the forest.
Strange thing that happened to me, though I didn't see anything specific. Be around 12. Go on vacation with my parents and brother. We stop by at a friend's house in Spain. They don't have so much room, so me and my brother both sleep in the attic. There's a big old mirror standing right in front of our bed. Scared of the mirror, yet I have no idea why. Don't want to show it to my brother. After some time, he admits he's scared too. Both hide in our bed. Eventually fall asleep. Wake up in the morning. Brother is terribly sick. Friend's parents decide to let him sleep in their bed so he can rest better. My face when I gotta sleep there alone. Stay awake and downstairs as long as I can. Too scared to go upstairs. Finally time to get some sleep. Managed to get my father to bring me upstairs. I wasn't afraid in the dark at that age, and I didn't tell him I was concerned. So I get into bed. Dad goes back downstairs and turns the light off. Immediately turn the nightlight next to my bed back on. Managed to take some quick looks at the mirror while Dad was upstairs with me. Still trying to take a look. Impossible to look directly into it, no matter how hard I tried. That's what really fucked me up, because I always used to conquer my fears just by looking it straight in the eye and convincing myself there is nothing to be afraid of. Just keep laying in bed, too afraid to stand up, unable to move, feel totally watched by someone or something in the mirror. After some time, Mother comes in to tell me good night. I tell her I'll come down with her to go to the toilet. I grab my brother's blanket, and while we pass the mirror, I cover it with the blanket, hoping it would help. Go to the toilet, collect my nuts back together, and head for the attic. Didn't mention pretty small attic, so there was just a bed, some boxes, and the mirror standing 1.5 meters from the foot of the bed. Mirror perfectly facing the bed. Finally going back upstairs. At the last set of stairs, I can see the mirror, left the lights on downstairs as well. My face when the mirror is not covered anymore. Take a few more steps to investigate. See the blanket lying on the floor. Doesn't look like it just slid off. Way too far away from the mirror. Looks like it has been tossed off. Head downstairs. Don't ever go upstairs. We stayed around 4 days, so every time someone expected me to go to bed, I just waited behind the attic door downstairs for them to leave, just to head back to the couch.
Just a tad of backstory first. I work third shift at a chemical plant, 6 of us total. Unexplainable things happen on a relatively frequent basis. I'm not sure why. We have all seen, heard, and felt things. Be last night, about 2:30 a.m. friend and co-worker 2 standing in the dark next to each other. 2 about 3 feet over, 2 feet back. Friend has a headlamp on, looks my way as I walk up, about 50 feet away. Somewhat blinds me. Look away, let my eyes readjust, look back. Friend stands by himself. Nope.jpg. Was anyone else standing by you? No. Someone was just standing by you. Double nope.mp4. Same night. Night is becoming active. 3 of us are investigating. 2 of us separate from the other one. Hear weird cough or yell or I don't know. Was that Anon? I don't know. Walk over to Anon. Did you just yell or cough or anything like that? No. Came from that way. That way is a place that gives everyone the creeps. The other 3 workers are on the other side of the plant, Just another nope in the nope house.
My family and I lived in the house my great-grandfather owned and died in. It had a history of family members dying in it, and in the area. Some of my family used to hold seances and practice little bits of witchcraft here and there to try and contact their dead family members. And I have a handful of stories from the place. My great-grandma liked to read coffee grounds. This is where you look at the leftover grounds at the bottom of your cup of coffee to see if any images form from the grounds. One day she says she sees the top of a man's body. His head separates from his neck. Nope. Jake PG. Stop it, Grandma. You're being silly. Months later, my great-uncle John had died from a coma a few days before from a car wreck. His sister, my grandma, and his mother, my great-grandma, along with various friends and members of the family, lit candles in the living room, held hands and began a seance, asking for dear uncle. Things were quiet at first. Big-ass crash in the next room over. Now it's dead silent, everyone thoroughly shaken. Investigate the sound. Nothing had fallen. No signs of anything making sounds or moving. My grandma still does not know what made that crash. Not too long later along in life, my great-grandma developed lung cancer. It's terminal. Things are looking pretty grim, but at this point she functioned normally and could walk around and stuff. She goes out to get the mail a few yards from the front door. As she turns around to head back, this black ball just rolls through the garage door, or wall, I can't remember, but it just appeared through the surface, past her, and disappears. She took it as a sign of her imminent death. I don't know if it's because our family doesn't practice any amateur witchcraft nowadays, but for anything like that to happen now would be a gigantic matter. Back then, my family seemed to just accept it like no big deal. I really wish I had known them all before half of them passed away.
Be about 10 years old, maybe a year or two older. Taking a shower, playing with toys, living it up. Get out of the shower. Mirror is fogged up as per usual. See someone wrote something on the fogged mirror. Talking fresh streaks, not like old smudges from a different shower someone else left. Mom had been downstairs making pie. Think the word on the mirror is pie, and Mom's letting me know it's done. Realize I locked the bathroom door and it's still locked. Realize that's a D and not a P. Nope out of my bathroom ASAP to my fucking room. Try to shake it off. Move toward the closet to get some clothes. Feel like something is waiting in the closet for me. Break down in hysterical crying. Mom comes upstairs to investigate. Tell her what I saw in the bathroom, scared someone's in the closet. She checks the closet. It's clear. Goes in the bathroom, comes back and tells me there was other writing I didn't see that implies it was my uncle, who wasn't even in the house, playing a practical joke. Look back in the bathroom. Mom has scrubbed off the word. Never get an adequate explanation for how someone came into my locked bathroom and wrote "die" on the mirror.
Be unborn in my mother's womb. She has weird, horrific dreams of storms and laughing. Stayed in a commune with my great-uncle and aunt. Great-uncle was a priest before he decided on having a family. Had experiences with voodoo and exorcisms. One night in my great-uncle's house, my mother wakes up with her bedroom door slightly creaking open. Old-style attic with a string is directly in the hallway from her room. Slow creaking of the attic door opening. She slowly turns her head to look in the attic. A pale woman in a white dress with milky white eyes points her finger at her. Waves her hands in an inviting way up to the attic. Long black hair flowing upwards in the attic, as if she's in front of a fan. my mother hears whispers, "Baby boy, baby boy, baby boy," cries herself to sleep, cradling me. Heard this story from many people in my family that will talk about it. B25. 3 times in my life, I've heard laughing in an empty house. Go to look around and see half of a flowing white dress coming from a room. Nope, 3 times in my life, have goosebumps and get teary-eyed when I talk about it.
My house used to be a nursing home back in the day. My house was the women's house, and our neighbors was the men's. My biggest experience, and to be honest, it's not that big compared to a lot of paranormal experiences, was one night during my 8th grade year of school. I woke up at exactly 2:30 on the dot. For some reason, I didn't want to immediately open my eyes. Something felt off, almost immediately. It wasn't until I noticed a slight tapping on the wall to the left-hand side of my bed. I rolled over to face that wall, but saw nothing. I figured it was just an old house creaking. Not so. The tapping continued at a steady, rapid beat for what seemed like forever. About 30 minutes later, tapping moved. The move really threw me off. The tapping had relocated to the next wall in a clockwise fashion. It was now on the wall in front of my bed on the far side. What freaked me out the most was the sudden movement of it. It didn't gradually slip to the next wall. It jumped from the center of the wall to my left to the center of the wall across from me. It focused there for the same amount of time it had lingered on the previous wall and jumped again. This continued until it was on the wall my bed was against, the tapping right above my head. When I thought I couldn't be any more petrified and scared shitless, that fucking tapping sound started traveling down the wall closer to my head. Nope. Out of that room. So hard. The next day I tried to recreate the exact tone of the tapping, but couldn't no matter what I tried or used. Whatever it was fucked with me on and off for over a week in different ways. But instead of tapping on my walls, it chose my door right where my lock was. I stood there for 2 nights listening to it, like something wanted in. But after a while, it didn't bother me anymore. I didn't feel threatened, just annoyed, because no matter how quiet the tapping was, it always seemed to wake me up at exactly 2:30 on odd nights.
Be hunting in Alaska, was blessed by some Native American priest or elder person my buddy knew, camping out like a 2-day trip to the hunting cabin. 300 Winchester Magnum is laying next to me as well as my Glock 21. Hear some rustling. Get up, 'cause I gotta piss anyways. Unzip the tent. There is a grizzly bear looking me square in the eye, frozen with nope, think this is it. Slide my hand slowly and gingerly to my Glock. The grizzly is literally just sniffing me. The grizzly licks my face. My fingertips are touching my Glock, trying to find the trigger. In a single ineffable moment, the grizzly turns around and walks away. I am dumbfounded. Get up to piss. Fall back asleep in the tent. Think it must have been a dream. Buddy wakes me up frantically checking my well-being, as there are bear tracks the size of an elephant outside my tent. Get back to town a week later. The Native American elder says I was visited by a great animal spirit.
Third world country, so my English is bad. This one happened to my father. War in the country, 1980 to 1991. Family used to live in the rural side of the country where the conflict was much more intense. Had to get the fuck out because of the war. 6 years later, when the conflict was over, he and one of my uncles on my mother's side go back to check how fucked up the old house was. get there at maybe 7 to 8 p.m, so they slept there. House is fucked up. Animals stolen. Not even a goddamn place to sleep, so fuck it. Slept under a tree. Late at night, they start hearing what appears to be moving stones and smell cigarette smoke. No houses for miles around, so they could be criminals or some arsehole looking for something to steal on the ruins of the property. Wake up my uncle. He hears everything too. Start to make noise and curse so these people get away. They don't go. Trees start to move, as if someone was up there. Sudden cold wave. They keep guard until morning. Next day, they go check where the sound started coming from. See some piles of stones in the middle of the field. Nope.jpg. Left and described it to someone in the nearest town. The guy kinda giggles and tells them that those piles of rock were used to mark where they buried those who died in the middle of action. At this point, they've just shat their pantaloons and get back to town. We just get there again in 1998, I think. Stone piles still there.
Sophomore year of high school. Friend and I out camping and going to go rappelling at Moaning Caverns, California. First day before the rappel, we decide to explore our campsite surroundings, go up a hill and find a creepy old water storage place. I see that further at the top of the hill it flattens out. I feel strangely drawn to it. Friend argues it's getting late and we need to rest for tomorrow anyways. Finish the rappel and come back to the hill. Reach the top and my friend freezes. Witch's circle, he says. Also mentions strong vibes he feels every now and then. It's happened sometimes when his life was in danger. He explains what a witch's circle is to me. He proceeds cautiously while I flipped out and ran around the place like an excited 3-year-old. I decide to check out the side of the hill opposite from where we came up. Want to get a better view? Stand on an old stump. Suddenly everything gets a little quieter. Start hearing something in the distance, super faint, but getting slowly louder. Gets louder and louder till it's all around me, and I can't tell where it's coming from. It's a little girl humming. Flip out. Scream to my friend we gotta get the hell out. He tells me to calm down, don't freak, and leave it alone, whatever it is. We walk back to camp, and I realize if he hadn't stopped me, I would have run off deeper into the woods and gotten lost. More paranormal events I've experienced, though not much I guess, but it's true. Apparently my friend got a disembodied voice when he recorded by the old water storage thing. It was debatable when I listened to it.
Probably 6 or 7 years old, hospitalized for high fever, eventually sent home with a bottle of codeine mixed with Phenergan. Take what was supposed to be the correct dosage, ended up being way too much. Mom misread the bottle or something. Sitting in bed, unaware of the overdosage. Can't sleep. Feel like shit. Garfield the cat sneaks out of the television in my room and sprints behind my dresser. He sits there and stares at me from behind the dresser, occasionally popping his head out, but mostly just sitting in the shadows with glowing red eyes. The Scooby-Doo gang kicks down my closet door and starts running around the room, making a commotion. They're running from my closet to the door, going to the bathroom and behind shit like they're doing that goofy hallway gag with a monster. The room looks like a disaster area. Shaggy jumps up on my bed and starts fucking up my covers and being a dick. Shaggy, stop, go away. What are you doing? Please stop, etc. Fucking freaking out as the rest of the gang joins in dancing on my bed.
Scooby is just making that laughing noise insanely loud. Finally snap out of it. Everything in the room is completely normal. Nothing is out of place. Nope.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.